or I should really say good afternoon. Hope everyone's doing fantastic. Glad to have you guys here for another update, my friends. We do got ourselves a couple of things that we are watching, both regarding the tropics and a little bit of winter weather and some cool airs coming down into the country. So we are going to have to be looking out for all of that stuff. But anyways, folks, hope everyone's doing good. Hope everyone's once again having a great day so far. Let's see here. Whenever this thing pops up, we'll go ahead and put our thing here. But anyways, but yeah, so we're gonna keep an eye on the tropics. We do got ourselves a couple of things that we are paying attention to. Once again, there is that tropical system that we're currently watching at the moment, and everything like that. Here, let's see. What's up, Young? Hope you're doing good, my friend. Glad to have you here. Good morning, or good afternoon. Depends on where you're at. Here we go. Let's go ahead and put my thing here in the comment section real quickly. What's up, Isaac? Hope you're doing good, man. What's up, XX Monster? Hope you're doing good. Here, let's go ahead and put this here. That way I have it in pinned. Yeah, it takes a minute for things to pop up. What's up, Samuel? Saying hi, what's up? What's up, man? Hope you're doing good. What's up, Virgil? Hope you're doing good, my friends. But anyway, so here's the look at 94L. This is the next system that's currently on the list that we are watching. We can actually see that there is a pretty decent bit of convection starting to occur there towards the center of the storm. The models, they did pick up on a little bit of convection, a little bit of activity starting to, pick up on the storm. There still is a bit of dry air out there, though. If we take a look at the satellite imagery, it's just, a few little spots of, here of moisture that's available, but you can still see that we do have this kind of darkish color here. There still is a bit of dry air in the storm. We're going to keep a close eye on the system over the next couple of days, at least throughout the next 2 days. We're not expecting this thing to develop into anything. However, let's go and take a look at the Hurricane Center here. They do got a medium risk for development now. Oh, there's another storm that just popped up down here. That's a brand new area that just popped up. I did see some support on the models talking about that, but I didn't really mention it because it does kind of go its way into Mexico. So I don't think this one will be much of an issue. But this is the one we're watching. This is 94L, currently a low pressure system between the Cabo Verde and the Lesser Antilles, or the Windward Islands. So that's kind of what we're looking out there for. Now, right now, the Hurricane Center, they actually upped the probability. We're at an overall 60% chance of formation in the next 7 days, and you can see that probability of formation in the next 48 hours is low, 10%, due to the fact that we do have a lot of dry air out there, and the fact that the storm is not going to really be able to kick up too much in that time period. So, anyways, see Boo School tomorrow. Gotcha. What's up, Christy? Hope you're doing good. Hope you're doing well, my friend. But yeah, so we'll definitely be watching out there for that. Once again, this is latest satellite imagery here going on with the system. We'll do visible satellite now, so you guys can kind of see that. So you can see its circulation. That's your central circulation right there. You see that little area? We have some convection on the north western side of that center. So there is a little bit of thunderstorm activity. We need that whole thing to start popping off thunderstorms, and it's just simply not going to do that right now, due to the fact, like I said, that we do have a pretty good abundance of dry air with the storm. So it's kind of limiting its it's kind of limiting its strength right now, kind of limiting its development. But that will change with time. We're getting ready to look in the models here. Tabletop, no, this is not a concern for North Carolina. But yeah, so we'll look at the models here. We're going to go ahead and hop over here. There's also a bit of snow I want to mention real quickly too, up there towards New York State. We were talking about this last night. We do got a little bit of snow falling up there towards the northern part of New York State. Some of this will carry on into Vermont and New Hampshire today, and possibly even up into Maine. We could see our first little bit of snowfall out here. Just a little bit of an early reminder that, hey, it's fall now, and we're going to start to see a little bit more of this ever so closely as we continue to push our way down in time. We're going to notice that this is going to be more of a common thing. But yeah, let's take a look here at the HWRF model regarding 94L, the system we were just talking about. So at the current moment, as we can tell, all this brownish tan color, that's showing a lot of dry air. We do got some pockets of moisture available throughout the atmosphere. That's kind of why some of this convection is starting to pop off here. Let's see here. What's up, Man Cave? Saying hello from Philippines. Can I tell the forecast for the Philippines as well? Unfortunately, my programs I use don't really go out over there. We mostly just focus on the United States, sometimes Canada, and the Atlantic for the Caribbean and stuff like that. So I wish I could, but it's just, my programs don't do very well out in those areas. What's up, Peachy? Hope you're doing good. What's up, Calvin? But yeah, so the model here, does show that there is a fair, amount of dry air up on, the surrounding perimeter of the storm. We do have pockets of, more moisture. That's why those thunderstorms are starting to creep through. We do have a little bit of moisture for those. It's going to kind of be this way for the next little bit. Now, as we work our way out there towards right around the 16th, at this point in time, you can kind of tell that there's a lot more moisture indicated in this bluish green color. That is allowing for more convection, for more storms to, kick off there. And then, of course, as we approach our way here towards like the 17th and potentially the 18th, that's when the models start to kind of show this thing strengthening into a pretty decent system. So the point being, this is for October 18th at 8 p.m. according to this model. Now, take this with a grain of salt. Try not to take this too serious right now, but we do have the Virgin Islands down here. We do have Puerto Rico, portions of the Lesser Antilles. So as of now, HWRF projects this thing going north of those areas. Now, that would definitely not leave without any kind of impact for those areas. I do want my folks in the region to be watching it very closely. So if you live in the Virgin Islands, if you live out there towards the Lesser Antilles, Puerto Rico, even Dominican Republic, I would prepare, I should just say, be aware of the system. No reason for full-on preparation because of the fact that there still is some uncertainty. But just, what I want you to do now is just keep an eye on it. And if it does become an issue, we will obviously let you guys know ahead of time. But for right now, it's just something that we need to watch closely overall. If we take a look at the infrared satellite view, you can actually see this thing potentially going north of the Virgin Islands. Right next to them, there's Puerto Rico. It's kind of hard to tell, but Puerto Rico's right there. Dominican Republic's over here. Then we have the Virgin Islands and then portions of the Antilles. So that right there is going to be a potential impact. Now, some of the models do have this thing going a little further south, but also some of the models have it going a little further north. That's what I'm saying. There's no reason for full-on preparations right now. There's no need to go out and buy everything in the store at the moment. But I will tell you this: just make sure that you're paying attention to the tropics over the next couple days while we start to learn a little bit more for the system here. Because it definitely could become an issue overall. So. Anyways, but yeah, so that's that. That's HWRF. We're going to hop over to HMON now. It's another hurricane model. Yesterday, the HMON did not really pick up on much strengthening of the system here. Let's see if that's changed any. Let's see here. So it looks like, yeah, HMON doesn't really have much happening on that system here. Probably, let's see here. Yeah, due to the fact that there's probably going to be a little bit of dry air eating at it, according to this model. HWRF, the model we looked at, doesn't really show that being as much of an issue in the later stages, because you can see that it finally grabs a pretty good abundance of moisture as we approach our way towards the 17th, 18th, and 19th. And this thing would be passing near Puerto Rico probably between the 18th and 19th. Depending on if it's north or if it's nearby, that's still kind of unknown at this point. We take a look here at the spaghetti models. This is the latest spaghetti plots here. You can see the gradual westerly movement is expected over the next little bit. So you can see that we're going to gradually work our way here to the west. Still not too sure on where the thing's going to go. Now, unfortunately, there's a few models that actually has this thing kind of pulling south there at the end of the forecast track here. Now that's going to change. That's probably something that's going to change very, very much by the time we reach here, because we're talking 144 hours out. That is like 5 days away or so. More. That's like a week away. So that's quite a bit away, and there's still things that can absolutely change there. Let's see, Michael says, how'd everything fare out with you, your weather station and home? My weather station did good. My home has a little bit of damage. We lost some shingles. The siding, the skirting to our place is gone for the most part. We have a couple pieces that's just completely broken. Had a lot of branches, everything like that around. Luckily, no big damage, just kind of more of like moderate stuff. like the shingles and everything. But we did good. We finally got our power yesterday. It was a long haul without power because the inside of the house was like 90 degrees for the last couple of days, and yeah, it was pretty brutal. And then when we go outside to cool down, we get hit by a wall of mosquitoes because they're worse than they have been due to the fact that everything is just damp, and it's a breeding ground for all of those mosquitoes. So it's been terrible. But thankfully, our power's back on and it's a lot better. So let's see here. Try out my new generator. Yeah, we haven't had we don't have a generator. That's why I was starting a generator fund on our channel. So eventually I'm gonna work on getting a generator because that was pretty rough with that one. Yeah, Michael, thanks for asking, man. All right, so let's take a little bit of a look here. So this is the radar up in New York here. As you can tell, we do have ourselves a bit of snow starting to pop off. This is like the first of the year here. We have a little bit of snow. Not much accumulation is really expected out of this due to the fact that the temperatures are still fairly above freezing at the current point being. So we're not going to see much sticking with this, but you guys can see some snow out there. So that's that. Plus, all the surfaces are still very warm and would melt on impact. So that's that. Just wanted to go ahead and mention that with y'all. Also, if we take a look back here at the models again, we'll get back in the tropics here in a minute. But I do want to talk about this as well. Actually, I should have probably kept it on the. Yeah, let's just keep it on this view. So we're gonna have a bit of a cool down coming into the country. Here's the GFS model. You see, we're gonna have quite a bit of a chilly cool down here coming up for really the morning of the 18th is like the coolest it does get. So you can see out there for the morning of the 18th, we're talking those temperatures well in the 40s. I mean, even there towards the Gulf Coast could be in the 40s out there. This is for the morning of the 18th. The Ohio Valley could be in the maybe lower 40s, upper 30s in some spots. Same thing for New England, Mid-Atlantic. Just pretty much the eastern half of the country is going to be very, very chilly. Meanwhile, the Central Plains could be in the 50s and 60s, so that's not going to be anything super crazy. Just a nice cool breeze and stuff like that out there for you guys. And speaking of breeze, if we take a look here at our lower level winds, there's going to be a tight pressure gradient out there towards the plains. This is going to be allowing for a bit of a windstorm to occur due to the fact that we have a low pressure system located up here towards areas of Montana. And then we have an area of high pressure located towards the mid-Atlantic, and that's going to really be a tight pressure gradient. So you see all these little bars and how squeezed they are together. Those are what we call isobars, and these isobars basically represent an area of equal pressure. Therefore, over a short distance, the pressure changes dramatically. And because of that, we're going to have some increased winds there towards the surface, which this will allow for some windy conditions to occur. And these winds will be moving to the north for the most part. So that is kind of what we're seeing here. So that'll be there for the 18th. It's going to get a little bit windy out there. We're going to get a little bit of winds going on for the region. It really looks like that's going to start here for pretty much the 16th. It's kind of when that wind begins. It goes into the 17th, goes through the 18th. It looks like it's going to be pretty windy for quite a few places out there as that kind of rolls through. Once again, just a big tight pressure gradient we got going on there overall, as we do have this really big ridge pulling down into the country right here, big dome of high pressure. So what's actually happening is that snow that we had up in the Northeast we were just talking about here, you could actually see that low. We'll go ahead and, yeah, so that low is right here. That's actually going to shoot up north, and that's going to actually force this ridge downward into the country. It's going to increase. It's going to increase the pressure out there. We're going to have a lot of high pressure building in, and then that's when that low out there towards Montana is going to start to develop, strengthen a bit. So we're going to have a big gradient like we were talking about. So really strong high pressure, pretty strong low pressure, and due to the fact that those are two big differences in pressure, we're going to have a tight pressure gradient, those closed isobars out there, that is going to be representing that we're going to have some big changes in pressure. Therefore, we're going to have some strong winds out there. But once again, for my folks up in the plains, you guys are going to notice it getting pretty windy, probably starting here for the 16th. 16th, 17th, and 18th. It's going to be pretty windy for you guys. The 19th, it should, slow down a little bit. But anyways, I wanted to mention that, and then also like we were talking about here, those temperatures in the country here is going to get a little bit more chilly due to the fact that we do have all that cooler air coming down from Canada. This is for the morning of the 17th. We could have sub-freezing temperatures throughout portions of the Appalachian Mountains, all the way down from western North Carolina, going through Virginia, West Virginia, into Pennsylvania, New York State. Bits of Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine could be sub-freezing across some of those regions there for the morning of the 17th. Now, meanwhile, the other areas here towards like the Ohio Valley, we could be touching up into the upper 30s, maybe the lower 40s. In the southeast here, you can see towards the Gulf Coast, we could be even near the lower 40s. So it's definitely going to be quite a cool down for a lot of places out here. So we're going to feel a really chilly night for the morning of, or I should say a chilly morning for the morning of the 17th. So prepare for that. Make sure you have your coats brought out because you're going to need them in the morning. It's going to be a little bit chilly going into work, going into school, whatever you're doing. Just keep that in mind, okay? Because it's going to be a little bit chilly. But anyway, so that's that. Just want to go ahead and touch up on that. And then, it's going to be a lot cooler than normal. If we take a look at those temperature anomalies, you notice how the east is all in blue, representing that the temperature is cooler than normal. So meanwhile, up in the northern plains here, it's going to be relatively warmer than typical for this time period for the 17th and 18th. And you can actually see here across the whole eastern U.S. Is going to be much cooler than normal due to the fact that we do have that cooler air coming in from Canada. And kind of shooting its way down the country, building in some high pressure, of course, lowering those temperatures and increasing the pressure gradient, allowing for a bit of wind conditions out there towards the central plains. So I want to go ahead and let you guys know of that. Let's see here. Well, this hurricane hit Florida. There's no confirmation or there's no support of this thing hitting Florida. So at the moment, Florida does not need to worry about this storm that we're watching. Honestly, at the moment, more of a concern for you guys is that cold air. I know how Floridians, we don't handle the cold very well down here. This could be a bit of a problem for us coming into the morning of like the 16th, 17th, and 18th. It's going to be fairly chilly across, especially Panhandle, Florida. The peninsula, it's going to get a little bit chilly up there in the northern part towards Ocala, but, down towards like central and southern, it's going to still be relatively slightly cooler. You'll notice it, but not anything super crazy. The Panhandle is going to really be feeling it though. Invest 94L is really starting to show more growth. Yeah, so we do have a little bit of convection. We're going to hop back to the tropics here now. 94L is the storm that we are currently monitoring. There is a bit of convection you can see on its northwestern side of the core. We are currently watching some convection, some thunderstorm activity kicking off out there. That is good for the system itself. You do want those thunderstorms to be convecting because those are what responsible for the storm strengthening. If you don't have any thunderstorm activity in your storm, then you're not going to get any strengthening or any development. And since we do have a little bit of thunderstorm activity starting to happen, that could be contributing to the storm maybe strengthening a little bit. But we're not expecting much development over the next couple of days due to the fact that there is still a pretty good abundance of dry air that should allow for the storm to relatively be, be pretty slow at developing. However, the environment will change as we do approach our way kind of more towards the 17th or so. We're going to hop back over here to HWRF. If we take a look at the current humidity in the atmosphere, you can see that we just have a little bit towards the center. That's where that convection's popping off. We do have some pretty far dry air to the west. Same thing for the upper northeastern side of the storm. So you can see that there's a lot of brown, a lot of tan representing dry air. Storms cannot convect in dry air. They need moisture in order to convect. If you have dry air, storms will not happen. If you have moisture-filled air, then that's a better shot for storms to happen. Now, that's the problem. Right now, there's just a lot of dry air preventing that storm from full-on convecting and, overall. I mean, the sea surface temperatures, the temperatures of the water out there are more than good enough for this storm to develop. But you got to remember, there's other things to it that contributes to tropical development. And this is one very crucial role here is moisture. Once again, if you don't have any moisture, you're not going to get hardly any convection, and the storm's not going to really strengthen that much. And that's kind of a problem right now is the fact we have a lot of dry air on the western side. So we continue to work our way down in time here. This is approaching the 15th. Around the 15th here, we do have ourselves a little bit more moisture across the region. You can tell here indicated in that bluish green color, representing that there is more moisture in the atmosphere. Still bits and pieces of dry air located up on the top northeastern quadrant and the southwestern quadrant. So still a little bit of dry air at this point. However, development's not really going to kick off at that point too much. But here's the problem. Here's where things start to pick up. So here for the 16th, you can see that we start to maybe get a little bit more moisture in the region here for the morning of the 16th. We could start to see a lot more thunderstorm activity around this time, starting to pop off, and potentially the storm could strengthen a little bit more. It's going to be kind of a fighting ground here for the next couple of days, but it's not really until the 17th is whenever the model really starts to have the system start to pick up. This is the latest HWRF model. This is as far as it goes right now, but we can take a moment to hop to the previous run, which shows pretty much the same thing, and the fact that this thing could easily become a hurricane once we approach these areas out there towards Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands. It is a possibility. It's still not 100%, but it is looking more and more likely. Once again, the Hurricane Center, they have upped the probability now to a 60% chance of overall development. Yesterday morning, it was right around a 30%, so we are definitely increasing in probability. We're going to need to watch it. But like we mentioned, over the next 48 hours, we only have a 10% chance of development. We're not expecting this storm to really kick off within the next 2 days, due to the fact that there is still an abundance of dry air overall, and the storm is not going to really be able to pick up in any intensity in that time being. It's not really until, like I said, the 17th, the 18th, and 19th, that's whenever things are going to start to pick up for the storm. So we're going to take a minute, bring y'all over here real quickly. First of all, let's go ahead and bring our little radar down here, and we're going to bring this one up here. So I want to go ahead and show you guys that area and show you guys where we need to be looking out there for. So once again, the storm right here is located between the Cabo Verde and the Lesser Antilles, or the Windward Islands out there. So the storm is going to continue to work its way here to the west. Now, these areas, I do want you guys to be weather aware. If you live out there towards like the Dominican Republic, if you live out there towards like Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, portions of the Leeward Islands out there, I do want you guys to be prepped. Just make sure that you guys are ready for the storm in case if it becomes something. Keep a close eye on it. There is a chance that the storm could still pull far to the north here. So keep that in mind. That is a possibility, but there's also a chance that the storm could come near those regions. That's why I just want you guys to be watching the storm. I want you guys to start, getting things together. Make sure you have your hurricane stuff in place. I mean, this is still, a couple days away, but we're learning more and more about the system here. Be keeping you guys in the loop with things. We'll do another live stream tonight for you guys to give you guys some more updated information with the models and everything like that. So we'll keep you guys posted overall. But just definitely want you guys to be looking out for some of those regions there. Once again, if you have any family, if you know anybody who's visiting or in portions of the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, out there towards like the Virgin Islands and the Lesser Antilles, I do want you guys to be on alert. That way you guys, can monitor this because there is a chance that some tropical activity could happen for the later portion of this week. Okay, so keep that in mind. Right now, like I said, probability overall is a 60% chance of development throughout the next week, through the next 7 days. This is an increasing probability. Once again, yesterday morning it was at 30%. Now we're at 60%, so we are increasing our likelihood here. It's almost at a high chance of development. Once it goes up in the 70 territory, it will go up to a high chance of overall development. Then, of course, we have the next 2 days, low 10%. Once again, it's fighting dry air. It has a lot of dry air right now, and it will remain that way for at least the next 2 days, okay? So that is kind of what we're seeing here. Rodney says, look at a satellite photo of the storm. The blue flashes from Earth, are they feeding these? So what you're trying to say is you think that these are man-made? No, they are not man-made. This is normal. There is no way for us to control the weather, by the way, for people saying all that. I know that it's been a big conspiracy theory going around. No, that's foolish. For somebody who actually knows meteorology and understands the phenomenons that are included, yeah, I don't even see what blue flashes you're talking about. So this is visible satellite. You can see that, there's your central circulation there. We do have a little bit of convection on the northwestern side of the center. That is, a little pocket of more moisture-filled air, but the surrounding, the surrounding macro scale of things, it's still relatively dry. We do have some pretty low humidity out there throughout the atmosphere. That is, keeping the storm from really kicking off. But like I said, we'll continue to watch that. Right now, it's just all in open water, and it will, continue working its way here to the west over the next couple of days overall. Yes, tabletop. I'm going live tomorrow as well. Absolutely. We'll be here to help you guys out, prep for it and stuff like that. Once again, there is a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of things that we're kind of watching right now regarding its strength, regarding its track here. We're going to take a look here back at the over here at the spaghetti models. This is the latest hurricane spaghetti models here. You can see that they've grouped a lot better together since yesterday. There was a pretty wide gap. There still is a fairly decent gap here. That's what I'm saying. This thing could come close to some of those Caribbean islands. Like the Virgin Islands, out there towards like Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic. This thing could steer close to those regions. That's why I want you guys on alert. But there's also a possibility this thing could pull to the north. In a situation like this, it's always best to grab the median, the middle parts. And so even if we took that middle part there, that would absolutely, while it wouldn't fully allow for direct impacts, it could definitely allow for some, some indirect impacts, such as some swelling, potential surge, just depends on how big the wind field of the storm is, and regarding to some swelling along the coastlines, rip currents, stuff like that could be a thing. Once again, we just kind of need to see here, how this thing goes, and how the models continue to support this. But right now, there still is a bit of a pretty broad uncertainty of exactly, how or where this thing is going to fully end up. That's kind of what we're trying to work out right now. Now, here's the intensity guidance. Now, more than half of the models have this thing easily getting in the tropical storm force. Matter of fact, those models, majority of them actually have it going up into Cat 1 strength. So at this point in time, it is a good possibility that this thing would be a hurricane as we approach our way towards the Caribbean there. Once again, just depends on the track and everything like that. We're still kind of working that out. So we're going to keep an eye on it on the observational field for the next couple days. We're just going to continue to watch how it's reacting with its environment and everything like that. Once again, we do have some good circulation with that storm right now, but the convection is very limited. Therefore, we're not really expecting much of development in the next couple of days. That's why the probability of development in the next 48 hours is so low. It's only at a 10% chance. You can see the models; they just kind of have this thing, relatively just being flat, relatively not really strengthening too much. But it's once we get out of that dry air, once we kind of go into more moisture, that's whenever the models start to take this thing up overall. John, we are not going to play some music, man. That is not really our thing here. I mean, we're just trying to keep you weather updated. Listen to music on your own time. Let's see. Do I need somebody to buy me a light bulb? No. Let's see, I do have a lamp next to me. I don't even think that'll help. You probably didn't even notice it turned on right now. No need for all that. Could this hit the U.S.? So as in, with current guidance right now, there's nothing suggesting that this thing will be a U.S. impact. The good news is that some of the models actually support, that big dome of high pressure we were watching could persist across portions of the U.S. East Coast. Now, I'm not saying that this will 100% happen, but that could help maybe push that storm away from some of the areas down here in the south. Once again, we're talking long range at this point, and so things are easily able to change here. So yeah, we'll just keep an eye on it. Here, let's take a look at some of those individual models now. That's something we really haven't looked at. So here's the GFS. GFS has that storm actually hitting. Oh wow. Yeah, GFS is very interesting. So GFS, once again, take this with a grain of salt. Don't take this too seriously. The GFS model actually has this thing hitting the Dominican Republic out there. I know it's kind of hard to tell, but yeah, the GFS does have it hitting the Dominican Republic. Once again, take that with a grain of salt. Previous model before showed it out there as well. It does seem like the GFS is wanting this thing to hit the Dominican Republic, but this is also another 120 something hours out. So that's something that could easily change. let's take a look here at let's take a look at the ECMWF here. This is Euro. The European model suggests this thing. You can see it right there. Possible depression at that point. You can see it kind of just remaining north of the Caribbean islands there, and then, like I said, there's that big dome of high pressure. You guys can't really see that, but there's a dome of high pressure that could help protect like Florida from it. Once again, we'll keep an eye on it and everything like that, but we'll definitely be watching this. There still is a bit of uncertainty, of course. CMC model has this thing going up there towards like the southern Bahamas, and then kind of pulling north. So there's models are just kind of all over the place, as you can tell. Here's Icon showing that system, kind of going up there towards like the southern Bahamas. This one actually has it hitting eastern Cuba. So yeah, big spread of differential there. But as of right now, no, this does not seem like it's going to be a threat for the U.S. at the moment. There's just, at that point, we're still very far down in the track and, and stuff like that. There's still a lot of uncertainty. Right now, my areas of concern includes some of these areas here. So like the southern Bahamas should keep an eye on it. Eastern Cuba should watch it. Haiti over here in the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, Virgin Islands, and the Lesser Antilles. I do want you guys to be monitoring this, okay? Just keep an eye on it. Once again, throughout the next 2 days, it's fighting a lot of dry air. It's not really strengthening right now, but we'll see how it reacts to the environment once it starts rolling into that moisture-filled atmosphere. At that point, that's when convection will start. That is whenever the storm will start to pick up strength, which that'll be right around the 17th and 18th, roughly. That'll be also right around the time the storm gets to these waters over here. Okay, so we'll keep you guys updated. How did my house hold up from Milton? So it's kind of mixed. I mean, we had some shingles come off of the house. We had our skirting that goes around the house. It all kind of got off of the track, and some of the skirting completely blew out. Branches were down everywhere. We were without power for over 80 hours, which was kind of a sucky thing. The worst part of it was the fact that the temperature in here was like 90 degrees with a humidity of like 80%. So it was extremely muggy in here for the last 3 days or so. We finally got our power back yesterday afternoon. It was miserable. And whenever we would want to go outside to cool off, we would just get immediately hit by a wall of mosquitoes. So it was the worst I've ever seen down here, to be honest with you, with those mosquitoes. It was brutal. So I have like a good 50 or so bite marks on me. Not even exaggerating. I've been bitten a lot, which kind of sucks. But everything looks okay right now. We finally have our power back on. We cleaned up a lot of it. It's just, ugh. Yeah, that's Florida mosquitoes. Well, they're a lot worse right now because of all the dampness and the moisture that we've got from Helene. Not Helene, sorry, Milton. I keep on mixing them up sometimes. Yeah, Helene gave us tropical storm conditions, wasn't anything too bad, but Milton hit me as I was actually in the eye wall. I was in the eye wall of Milton. It was a category 2 at the time being. We had gusts over here around 110 where I'm at. It was pretty rough. My weather station reported pressure of 971 millibars, which is very low. Very, very low. I thought Milton was Hilton. Like I said, I always get those two mixed up. But anyways, folks, well, we're going to hop back to satellite imagery real quickly. So once again, this is the infrared view. You can see our center of circulation is right here. We do have some convection up on the northwestern side. We are currently monitoring the storm. Once again, it's relatively surrounded with dry air right now. Not a whole lot of convection, not a whole lot of thunderstorm activity in the storm at the moment. Therefore, strengthening is not really expected to happen over the next couple of days. This convective burst at anything would just help sustain itself for a little bit. So we're going to have, every once in a while, a couple of thunderstorms popping off and stuff like that. But, there's really not a lot of convection with the storm right now. That will increase in convection and activity, and the strengthening will increase for right around the 17th and 18th or so. Once it tracks its way, it continuously moves its way to the west into more of moisture, more moisture-filled environment. And right around the 17th and 18th is when the thing will start to pick up in a little bit of strength. So, regarding development in the next 2 days, once again, the Hurricane Center We only got a 10% chance, which, you know, makes sense there. And then, of course, we have ourselves, you know, formation through the next 7 days. We do got ourselves a 60% chance overall out there. So we'll keep y'all posted. But if you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know. Once again, you know, I appreciate y'all being here. And, you know, like I said, I hope everyone's doing okay with Milton. I know it was a pretty nasty storm for a lot of us over here. Hope everyone's doing good. And like I said, we're going to continue to keep you guys posted with all these storms and stuff like that. You know, we want to help you guys out with everything we can. And just want to say thank you for joining. Appreciate y'all very, very much. And once again, we're going to take some final questions if y'all have any. Like I said, we'll be back live later tonight. We'll be live tonight on our main layout. We'll probably be live right around like 7 or 8 o'clock or so, just to give you guys some more updates on the system, you know, because we'll have new model runs and stuff like that at the time being. So we'll keep you guys posted. If you haven't already, consider subscribing, leaving a like. It'd be greatly appreciated. And it's probably going to wrap it up for now. Robin says, thank you, and happy you are okay. Thank you, Robin. I appreciate that. When's the first snow roughly for Pennsylvania? Kind of, I mean, it varies, but, you know, typically November-ish. Sometimes you can see that. I mean, we're already starting to see some snow today, like I mentioned, up here in New York State. You know, we have a little bit of snow, you know, peeking in there. We were watching that yesterday. Models were talking about it, and it's already happening. We already do have a bit of snow falling. First of all, let me actually see if we have any cameras. I kind of want to see if we have any cameras available before I head off here. I want to see if we got anything going on. Let's see here. Yeah, tabletop. No worry about right now. Is the storm coming in the Gulf of Mexico? We don't know, Samuel. It's unlikely at the moment. Kind of, you know, tracking kind of ends in the Caribbean right now. I mean, it's still a little ways away. But yeah, let's look at New York State. I think I wanted to say I had some good cameras up in the state of New York. Let's see. Here we go. Here's New York State. We're going to bring this over here. I have a whole map of cameras. Let's see. We're going to turn on... Where is cameras here? Oh, here we go. Cameras. Nice. All right, let's look up towards Old Forge. Here's an area. Any snow falling out here? It just looks like a big wet mess right now. Okay. Yeah, it looks like it's... Let's try up there towards like Watertown maybe. No, they're closer to the coast, so they're probably not seeing it. Kind of low-res cameras anyways. Let me pull up the radar. See here. So yeah, we're seeing some of that snow right now. Let me turn on the show city names. Here we go. Out there by Lowville and Tupper Lake area. Lowville and Tupper Lake is where we're seeing some snow. That's Boonville. Yeah, we don't have that many cameras to choose from. Let's try this guy over here. That one doesn't work. Oh, look at the fall colors coming out on that one. Wow. Goodness. Let's see here. My friend and I are texting and dying of laughter. What are you dying in laughter about? Let's see here. Glad to see you're back up and running. They've been saying wave of storm will be in the Caribbean and we'll hit either going northeast, southwest. Yeah, I mean, we'll keep an eye on it. We're not too sure what it's going to do once it gets deep in the Caribbean there, but I do want places, like I mentioned, out there towards the southern Bahamas, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, Lesser Antilles, and maybe even eastern Cuba to be monitoring this here. Okay. How much tornadoes from Milton were rated EF3 plus? I've only seen one that was rated that, but you know, I don't know exactly. There was a lot of tornadoes though with Milton. It was actually quite nuts. Let's see here. Kansas low of 33. Wow, dude, that's pretty chilly. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think we have any really good cameras to look at this. Unfortunately. We'll try a couple more here. Oh, what's this doing? Yeah, it just looks like mostly wet roads and stuff. Anyways, yeah, I mean there's a little bit of snow falling out there. this back down here, and then we'll bring up our radar again so you guys can see. Yeah, there you go. So there's blue. Haven't seen that too much lately. It's our first little bit. Let's see. Tristan says this beats the news for sure. I appreciate that, man. Appreciate it. What's up, Scott? Hope you're doing good. Milton was like the tornadoest hurricane I've ever seen. It was, yeah. I mean, I think it was, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but I think Milton was the record breaker for tornadoes of a hurricane. Pretty sure it was. I know Milton had like I think it was the second most tornadoes in a state, if I'm not mistaken. I think it takes place for the most tornadoist amounts here in Florida from a hurricane, I'm pretty sure. Let's see here. Do I know when Tennessee will be getting the storm next? I don't know if this is about Tennessee or wherever. Just curious. So not really a whole lot going on for Tennessee currently. Regarding anything. Actually, right now, if we take a look at the radar up there, I have that still open. Tennessee, we're fairly dry at the moment. There's not a whole lot going on for y'all up in Tennessee right now. Let me pull up models. Yeah, we got high pressure building in, so it's probably going to keep you without precip for a little bit. So you're going to notice that the temperatures are going to be a little bit more chilly, stuff like that. Yeah, honestly, not really a lot of anything is expected for you. Just a little bit more chillier and high pressure building in, keeping things relatively dry. So. Do we have another hurricane coming? Potentially, yes. This one looks like it might just be a Caribbean storm. There's still a lot of info that we need to figure out about the system right now. Let's see. Lexi says, thank you. I have a lot of outdoor plans, so I was wondering because I'm not ever on the Weather Channel. 62 degrees. Wow. Gotcha, Lexi. Yeah, no problem. And like I said, we'll be live on and off throughout the next several days, as we usually are. Once again, we'll go live again tonight, and we'll give you guys posted new updated data regarding the models and current observations regarding 94L. We'll keep you guys informed out there. Let's see. Thanks for the update and information. No problem. No problem at all, my friend. Like I said, glad to help out. All right, everybody. Well, that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for now. Just wanted to go live here for a little bit this morning. Once again, we'll go live again tonight around 8 o'clock or so. We'll keep you guys posted on everything. Once again, we'll have new models, new information, and stuff like that. So we'll give you guys some more updates. But right now, like I said, a little bit of an overview real quickly before we head off. 94L is the storm that we're currently watching. Right now, the models regarding the track have tightened. The storm is likely going to be passing north of, Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, Dominican Republic, some of those regions out there. I do want you guys to watch it, though. Keep these areas and like I said, if you're out there, keep an eye on it. It is something that we need to be monitoring. Like I said, regarding its strengths, about half-ish of the models show tropical storm and hurricane force at some point, so keep that in mind. And all that, but there's still a lot of things we do not know. So that's that. Right now, it's battling a lot of dry air for the next 2 days or so. The storm's struggling to convect. However, once we push our way into like the 17th and 18th, that's when the storm's going to start kind of kicking off and starting to roll into more moisture and everything like that. So at that point, then we'll see, some more activity with the system. But for now, it's going to be relatively dry in the storm, and it's not going to do too much over the next 2 days. But we'll get some more info out for you guys as models come. Not to mention, like I said, we also have that cool down coming in for the country. We need to watch that one last time. We'll look at the models before I head off here. If we take a look here at the, let's see, the temperatures over here, we'll move this region here to the eastern U.S. You guys can see that it's going to absolutely get pretty chilly. This is the morning of the 17th, and my folks out here in Panhandle, Florida, could get down into lower 40s. It's going to be very chilly for a lot of us. And, like I mentioned also for my folks up there in like the Appalachian Mountains, this area here, this could all be freezing temps throughout the upper elevations of North Carolina, Virginia, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, New York State, possibly Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine as well. Could be in freezing or potentially sub-freezing conditions out there. So we'll be watching out for that. Then, of course, the Ohio Valley, Midwest, there in the 30s for the most part. Then of course you have the Central Plains, which will be more towards like the 50s and so on. So, and around this time being, we'll have a very tight pressure gradient out here along these Central Plains due to the fact that we have a low pressure system up here towards Montana and a big high pressure dome out there in the eastern U.S. That's going to make a very tight pressure gradient out there. Those isobars are very close together. That is going to allow for a potential windstorm to occur. And so expect some very windy conditions for a couple of days out there, I believe starting the 16th towards the Central Plains. Keep that in mind. But all right, everybody, well, that's going to go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you all for joining. If you haven't already, consider hitting that subscribe button, leaving a like. It'd be greatly appreciated. Once again, I appreciate y'all for being here and everything like that. And like I said, we'll go live again later tonight, and we'll give you guys some more info as we collect more information on the storm. Okay? All right, everybody, thanks for joining, and appreciate y'all for being here. And once again, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Be greatly appreciated. Share this to your friends, family, anybody you can. Put it on your Facebook, whatever. That way you can help spread the word out there. It'd be much appreciated. All right, everybody, thanks for joining. Much love to you guys. Have a great day today, and we'll catch you later on. Peace out, my friends.